Today we are going to learn how to find the area of composite shapes. A composite shape is made up of two or more individual shapes. To find the area of composite shape, break it into smaller parts. So in our example right here, we're given a shape that has a couple different shapes inside. So we have a square in the middle, we have a triangle on this side, and a triangle on this side. So that's three different shapes pushed into one shape, and that is called a composite shape. Here's our first example. It says Drew is staying at a hotel that has the swimming pool shown. Drew wants to know the area of the pool. Find the area of the swimming pool at Drew's hotel. So notice, we have a picture right here of the swimming pool with dimensions on it. Over here, we have it broken up. We have this rectangle, and that's this bottom part right here. Then we have a square, which is this top part here. Notice, all we did was we drew a dotted line right here and separated the shapes. So now we need to move in to figuring out the area. So to do that, we first look at our rectangle, and we see the formula is base times height or length times width. So on the rectangle, we see the base is 12 and the height is 6. So we say area equals 6 times 12. When we multiply that out, we get 72. Now we need to do the square. The area of a square is base times height, or length times width, or side times side, or side squared. So here we have 10. It's square, so all the sides are the same. So we do 10 times 10. Which is 100. Now we need to find the total area. We do that by adding the two areas together. So we have 72 plus 100 to get 172. It is meters. And when we find area, we have to square the unit of measure. So 172 meters squared. Here's our next shape. So we have a rectangle and we have a triangle. Notice I have the formulas for each. Area of a rectangle is base times height. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or base times height divided by 2. So let's figure out the rectangle first. That's the easiest, so we start with that. So area equals our base, which is the top part right here. 14 goes all the way across, so we can't really do that yet. So our base is 6, and our height is 5. 6 times 5, and we get 30. Now notice, we divided right here to separate the shapes. So that 14 has to be split up as well. We know that this part of the base is 6, so we have to figure out what the rest of this is. So to do that, we do 14 minus 6, and we get 8. So this is 6 centimeters here, and this is 8 centimeters here. Now, we learned with triangles, we do base times height. So the base of the triangle is right here. We notice it makes the right angle with the height right here. We can pull across this unit of measure to the height right here. Those are the same units of measure. So this is 5 centimeters. And then we multiply. 1/2 base, which is 8, times the height, which is 5. Now that 1/2, it really just means 2 divided by 2. So I'm going to erase that. and I'm going to put divide by 2. That's a little easier to work with. So, starting off, we can do 8 times 5, which is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So the area of the rectangle is 30. The area of the triangle is 20. We add those together. So 30 plus 20 equals 50 centimeters squared. Again, this is area, so we have to square the unit of measure. Now we're going to move on to our last example. We have two different shapes. We have a rectangle here, and we have a semicircle or half a circle up top. So we need to figure out the rectangle first. It's the easiest we can start with. The base is 14, and the height is 10. So we multiply that. 14 times 10 is 140. Now to do the semicircle. So with the semicircle, we have the formula right here. Pi r squared divided by 2, or radius times 3.14 divided by 2. So we know that the diameter all the way across the circle is 14 right here. So the radius would be half. Half of 14 is 7. So we can do area equals 7 times 7, because those are both the radius, times 3.14, and then divide by 2. So I'm going to do what I know first. 7 times 7 is 49. I can't do the next part in my head, so I'm going to kick it out here to the side. 3.14 times by 49. 9 times 4 is 36. Put a 6, carry the 3. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. We can cross out because we're done with that. Put an X for place value. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 4 times 3 is 12. Now we need to add. We have 6, 8. We have 13, so we put a 3, carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 1 left over to bring it down. Don't forget about that 1 right there. Now there's 2 decimal places, so I move my decimal 2. And I can't forget about that last step. Divide by 2. So 2 is on the outside. 153.86 is on the inside. So then I can multiply, or divide. 2 divided by 1 is 0. 2 divided by 15 is 7. That's 14. Subtract. 15 minus 14 is 1. Bring down the 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times. That's 12. 1 left over. Bring up the decimal. Bring down the 8. 2 goes into 18 9 times. That is 18. Get 0 left over. Bring down the 6. 2 goes into 6. That would be 3 times. So the area of the semicircle is 76.93 millimeters. Now we have to add the two areas together. 140 plus 76.93. That's a little hard to do sideways, so I'm going to rewrite it up top. 140 plus, lining up my decimals, 76.93. Since 140 doesn't have decimals, I have to add them. Now we can add 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 9 is 9. Bring decimal straight down. 0 plus 6 is 6. 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. So we get the area being 216.93 millimeters squared. Again, we are still finding area, so the units have to be squared.